This is my 1992 Mazda Miata. If you've never heard of these, it's a two-seat roadster, and it is probably the worst car I own. I mean, look at it. That's why I love it. I picked it up at the beginning of this year for like $2,500, I think, somewhere around there. And it had been lifted with ridiculous monster truck tires on it and sort of an off-road lift kit. I think someone wanted to race this, or someone did drive this thing in the Gambler 500, which is an off-road event drive thing for cheap, terrible cars. So the whole thing was sprayed with truck bed liner, which is like the really bumpy stuff that's in the back of trucks. And over the past few months, I've just been kind of scraping it off. You can see there's still some of it left. It was painted tan. So I've been slowly kind of bringing it back. I'm going to repaint it white eventually. So the first thing I did was I lowered the suspension back down. It's on really cheap $200 eBay max speeding rod coilovers. Don't ever buy those. Those are the worst. They ride terrible. Ugh, hate them. So I lowered it down. I had these 15-inch wheels laying around from an old Escort that I had. So I bought some new cheap tires for them. They were like $60 a pop. And I still need to find a new front fender and front bumper because the great person that built this cut those out to fit the monster truck tires. Interior is actually in really good shape. It had a really cheap fake steering wheel on it, so I put this old 1992 Momo steering wheel on it that I had. It's pretty shallow. It doesn't sit far enough out, so I have to like reach way forward, and you'll see that in the video. It also has this terrible likewise shift knob, which I've been meaning to replace. I'm gonna make my own out of wood. The whole appeal of the Miata in the first place was that it was like the best cheap car money could buy. But with modern market values of the Miata at like around, for a good one, around $5,000, if it were my money, which it is, I would buy a ratty one like this. Make sure it runs well, but just buy a ratty one that's a driver, because that's what these things were made to do, is drive. Doesn't have to look pretty, and in fact, it's actually more fun to drive such an ugly thing because it kind of gets weird looks out of people. So let's take this thing out and do what it was made to do. Drive a twisty road. Welcome to Project Rattles. See what I mean? These are the worst coilovers ever.
Two hours later.
but it's a kind of fun car to drive, you know. It's not the best. It's very skittish. Probably some of it's the coilovers, a lot of it's the cheap tires. But you know, it's not for setting any records. It's just for going out and enjoying the sun, you know, and enjoying the fall colors. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video.